Ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, ooh yeah, Hey, today is Teddy Roosevelt's birthday. And another great president right there in the same league as Teddy Roosevelt is Donald Trump. And so I'm wearing this hat because it's MAGA Hat Monday.
The difference between Mr. Wilson and myself is fundamental. The other day, in a speech at Sioux Falls, Mr. Wilson stated his position when he said that the history of government, the history of liberty, was the history of the limitation of governmental power. This is true as an academic statement of history in the past. It is not true as a statement affecting the present. It is true of the history of medieval Europe. It is not true of the history of 20th century America. In the days when all governmental power existed exclusively in the king or in the baronage, and when the people had no shred of that power in their own hands, then it undoubtedly was true that the history of liberty was the history of the limitation of the governmental power of the outsiders who possess that power.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about the gates and the mark of the beast and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring. And George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil. Chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
It's MAGA Hat Monday. I do it for the fans. And you're watching the MC Tutor Show with your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host, MC Tutor. This is going to be a little special. 167 years ago today was the birth of the United States 26th President, Theodore Roosevelt, also known as TR, also known as Teddy Roosevelt. And his face is etched into Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. And he was born this day, 1858, October 27th, 1858, in the heart of New York City. And he was a sickly, sickly child. I tell you, he was too sick to even get out of the house. He was homeschooled. And he remained homeschooled until he was eligible for an education at Harvard. He went to Harvard University, and he was able to get out of the house more and everything. He started writing books. And because of these books he wrote a book about the War of 1812, the Naval War of 1812, and he was commended very highly for that and was considered a great historian and a great book writer. And this was before he even entered politics. A couple other things he did before entering politics, hence why he's so popular in the Dakotas. He was a cattle rancher in the Dakotas. He was one of the greatest cattle ranchers in all the Dakotas, north and south. And he is constantly remembered for that. So he earned his place with his face in Mount Rushmore, let me tell you, buddy boy. and he's the only president who actually lived to see at least a proposal for that project. And he was a great man and a great president. And somebody in that same league as Teddy Roosevelt is Donald Trump. Whenever we talk about great presidents, you got to put Donald Trump's name right up there with him. But anyway, moving right along with the life of Teddy Roosevelt. Besides being a cattle rancher of the Dakotas, he bustled back to New York and became police commissioner of New York City. And crime was not running rampant then, let me tell you. Crime runs rampant because of the Democrats, but with Teddy Roosevelt as police commissioner, it did not. New York was very safe under the guidance of Police Commissioner Roosevelt. Then he joined the service, worked his way all the way up to colonel. And he was a colonel who served in the Spanish-American War, went to Cuba, and battled the evil Spaniards. He battled that evil brood of Spaniards, led his army to defeat that evil brood of Spaniards, send them hurtling back to Spain. And that battle, the Battle of Las Guasimas, I think it's pronounced, that set off a domino effect because the U.S. started winning battle after battle after battle until finally the United States was inevitably victorious, and subsequently Cuba was liberated from the Spaniards. Then, when all was said and done, Teddy Roosevelt went back into New York, ran for governor, and won, becoming the 33rd governor of New York State. And in his 1 year as governor, he was a better and more effective governor than both Mario and Andrew Cuomo combined. Because he was a Republican, and Republicans run things more efficiently than Democrats. And thousands of people didn't die on Teddy Roosevelt's watch when he was governor of New York. Let me tell you. His tenure as governor would only last a year because incumbent Vice President of the United States, Garrett Hobart, would die in office in 1899. Now, William McKinley probably could have appointed him to fill the seat, but he left the seat vacant, and when election time came in 1900, McKinley chose Roosevelt as his running mate when he ran for re-election. And then, of course, McKinley won re-election. Roosevelt automatically, as McKinley's running mate, became Vice President of the United States. That would last little more than a year. Not even. It wouldn't even last the year because he and McKinley are sworn in 1901. And later that same year, McKinley would be assassinated, making Roosevelt the 26th president of the United States. And he was a great man and a great president. And yeah, he saw the arrangements and diggings of Mount Rushmore. So he got to live to see a project underway that would eventually have his face etched in the side of a mountain, with some other greats like Lincoln, Jefferson, and Washington. And if I wasn't such a believer in the preservation of historical artifacts, I would say blast that mountain some more until we get Donald Trump's face in the side of that mountain. But since I believe in preservation of things, I would have to say leave things alone. Let's maybe build something in North Dakota and put the faces of great presidents like Donald Trump, Ronald Reagan, of course. Now that Nixon's been completely exonerated from Watergate, his face too. And perhaps Eisenhower. Get some, get all 20th, get 3 20th century and 1 21st century president's face up there. That would be a great thing, I tell you. Unless you want to do one with Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett, AOC, and Nancy Pelosi and call it Mount Sucksmore. That's funny. So, Teddy Roosevelt was a great president. Right up there with Teddy Roosevelt, of course, is Donald Trump, but Teddy Roosevelt was a great president. He filled and finished McKinley's term, ran for re-election, won, chose to step down, endorsed William Howard Taft from Ohio. And with the Roosevelt endorsement, Taft got in very comfortably. Wouldn't say a landslide, but he got in pretty comfortably. But then Roosevelt was dissatisfied with the way Taft was running the country. And he didn't run against him as a Republican. He ran against him, forming his own party, the Bull Moose Party. Now, because Roosevelt previously served as a Republican, and a lot of Republican voters voted for him previously, and they wanted to vote for him again, that split the vote with the Taft loyalists, allowing for Woodrow Wilson to slink in there. See what happens? When you split a vote between two Republicans, the Democrat slips in and takes the office. Fast forward to today, in the mayoral race, when you split the vote between two Democrats, the official Republican candidate slips in there because the grifter, dirty spoiler, running as an independent, Andrew Cuomo, was previously a Democrat. So the Democrat vote is being split because of Cuomo, and it's going to screw things up for Mamdani, not Sliwa. It's not Sliwa being in there as the official Republican screwing things up for the independent Cuomo. That's stupid. That doesn't make sense. You're a clown each and every time you say that. And it's very un-Roosevelt-like of you. It's a very un-Teddy Roosevelt of you to say that. You're a sicko if you believe Curtis Sliwa is the spoiler. Andrew Cuomo is the spoiler. And he's not spoiling things for Sliwa. He's spoiling things for Mamdani. He is of the devil, as is Mamdani. So these two devils are going to tie each other up, chain each other to one another, and send themselves and each other hurtling down deep into the bottom of the lake of fire. Fire, fire, cleanse with fire. And that's what's going to happen come November 4th. We're going to get a Republican mayor. We got a Republican president. We're going to get a Republican mayor. And by next year, we're going to get a Republican governor. And as a bonus, let's throw in a Republican senator. I don't know who's running for Senate next year, but the Republican should win that very easily as well. Because the senator running for re-election next year is Democrat Chuck Schumer, and nobody likes him anymore. This government is shut down because of him. He is a dirtbag. He is a scum-stacking, liver-lapping moron, also known as Schmuck Schumer. So, it's MAGA Hat Monday. Teddy Roosevelt's 167th birthday. God bless his righteous soul in holy heaven. And on to the, I say, respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Like, follow, share, comment, subscribe. Stay strong, keep kicking that slang. It's your boy in the building, hip-hop legend, recording engineer, underground rock and roll hero. Your hardcore, fierce, and sexy host that is never gross. MC Too Tall. You be safe out there.